As I thought, the wind of snow had picked up. I carried my bag and Arroway's back on my left shoulder and grabbed Arroway's waist with my right hand. The heavy bag makes me lose my balance and almost causes me to fall. I actually do fall a couple of times. At first, Arroway stood transfixed because of the new scenery, and she still pauses from time to time even after we've started walking. My right hand doesn't have any grip strength, so it slips off her hand each time she stops. I'll call it to her 3 times before holding her hand again. She looks at me in surprise when I touch her. It seems being touched surprises her even though she knows it's coming. But I can't be concerned about that. The more we wait, the more snow out there will be. It's physically demanding to carry a heavy load and walk with her, so I won't be able to continue if the road conditions get any worse. The pain in my ankle is getting worse as well. Getting lost in town, that ridiculous concept might soon become reality. I try to hurry and pull Arroway, but she doesn't budge. I'll call out to her again. She repeats what I said, shakes my hand off, and opens her notebook. She frowns and says, Alright, pauses for a second before answering. She tries to look away, so I make her look at me. I tell her again and urge her to keep going, and she reluctantly starts walking. I repeat this process every time she stops. She picks up some snow while I'm walking. While we're walking, her slender fingers are red with cold. I tried putting my gloves on her, but she refused. When I forced one on her, she took it off and threw it far away. I had a hard time picking it back up, telling her that she may get frostbite and is futile. I found the warmest looking coat from the scattered clothing in her house and put it on her, but I couldn't find any pants, so her legs are still bare under her skirt down to her small shoes. I can see her red knees every time she climbs over an obstacle. I'm sure there's lots of snow on her shoes as well. Doesn't that bother her? She isn't showing any signs that she cares. The snow has completely enveloped the road, hiding deep ditches and sharp obstacles. I have to brush away the snow with a stick, ensure safety, and take each step carefully. I slow down and eventually come to a point where I can't go on anymore. My shoes and neck are wet, and the water mercilessly drains my warmth. The melted snow is seeping inside and between my coat buttons as well. This coat wasn't made for such a strong snowstorm. This is the biggest snowstorm I've experienced since coming to this town, and I didn't expect to walk in one like this without an umbrella. He's still bitching about that umbrella. There's still a ways to go until elementary school. It's hard enough to make progress, and to make matters worse, it's hard to determine the right direction to go. Most of the landmarks I used to figure out my whereabouts have been lost. For example, I can't even find signs. The storm is so dense that I can't see the mountains surrounding the town in order to figure out which direction I'm heading in. I can't find the stars in the sky either. I'm really starting to get lost. I alter my route several times as I fumble my way forward until I reach a long uphill slope. Was this hill always here? I can't tell if I went in the wrong direction or if the terrain has changed. I'm getting confused. When I notice, the figures I once saw here and there have all disappeared. I didn't hear any voices, only the roaring of the wind. Did everyone find shelter while I was taking my time? Maybe there aren't any other fools that are still walking around in this weather. I'm out of breath by the time I make it up the hill with Arroway. My legs are heavy and my joints are moving slowly. My her ankle is so cold that I can't feel it, and I've started using it more like a rod that I've stick into the snow. I'm almost at my limit, so I decided to find somewhere where we can rest. I choose a building that's relatively intact, step inside, and call out. The collapsed building shows sign of life, even though things are scattered everywhere. I could tell from the smell in the air that there were people here just now, but there's no reply. I see shoes in the entrance. I take a step inside, then see a white object sticking out from an open door in that hallway to the hallway. I realize it's a human arm that's no longer moving. The body is hidden behind cover, but it's so motionless that I don't even bother to go near it and check. I pull her away. Who was about to take off her shoes by the hand and exit the house. Arway is smiling, but her hair is disheveled from the wind, so I comb it out with my fingers, put the hood back on her head, and start walking again. We'll be able to find someplace safe. At that moment, I catch a glimpse of light piercing the curtain of snow from the hill ahead. It disappears far away, but I walk towards it and start to see the silhouettes of a building. The building is more intact than any of the other buildings I've seen up until now, but the windows are dark. Right when I start to think that it was my imagination, the windows light up again. There certainly is someone in there. I heave a sigh of relief. It's a long abandoned church. The windows are broken, the wind and snow are blowing inside. The wind roars when it passes through the windows. There are cobwebs in the ceiling and numerous cracks running through the walls. A long table is on its side, and colorful stained glass shards are scattered on the floor. There's a young man holding a lantern standing with his back to me in the center of the chapel. The cross in front of him is broken from the base and is leaning melancholically. What? Melancholically? My foot makes a sound when I step in and the man looks at me. I reflexively point my flashlight at him, making him squint. He smiles bitterly as I turn off the flashlight. He says that his name is Tanamura, and that he's taking shelter here since he's blocked by the snow just like us. Isn't it amazing how it stays standing even though it looks so old? As of God's protection. Tanamura's breath freezes in the cold air. Before he tells me, I realize that I did, in fact, go the wrong way. But then the map inside my head and the way I walked do not match up. The hill was definitely not there before. Does that mean the terrain changed? He looks down at the broken white object. Object must have been originally shaped as a human, but is broken to pieces now. The Christ statue on the cross must have fallen when an earthquake occurred. His white face is glowing dimly in the lantern light. Tanamura sighs, takes out a box of cigarettes and holds it out to me.
Yeah. So? じゃあ俺吸っていいかな。どうぞ。悪いね。喫煙なんか時代遅れだって分かってるんだけどさ。こう雪が強くちゃたまらないよね。雪が収まって視界が回復するまで動けないよ。下手に動いたら遭難しちゃうだろうし。
We may get lost if we go around. Oh crap! We may get lost if we go move around without care.
この建物の中にいてもあまり暖は取れないですし。確かに風通しがちょっと良すぎるよね。でもさ、天井があるだけでもマシだって思わない？それにここは人が住んでいないみたいだしね。 間に合わせにしては上等だよ。
人が住んでいた方がいいんじゃないですか。
理想を言えばそうだけどさ、でも最初から誰もいなけりゃ一つは安心だね。だって誰かが潰れてるかもしれない家で休むのはゾッとしないよ。亡くなった人には申し訳ないけどさ。
ああ、そうですね。
そっちの子寒そうな格好してるね。アロエちゃんだっけ。
I turn back and see that Arwe is squatting in front of the broken Christ statue and mumbling to
変わっ
herself.
た子だね。
僕も今会ったばかりなのではっきりは言えませんが、何か障害があるみたいです。
へえ、災難だね。ああ、いや、君がじゃなくてさ、アロエちゃん本人が。それもおかしいか。アロエちゃんじゃなくたって俺にしたってこの町の誰にとってもこれは災難には間違いないさ。クリスマスイブなのに全くとんでもない話だよ。
He nods at his own words. He then looks up and says,
さて、俺は奥の部屋見てくるよ。明かり持ってってもいいかな。
構いませんが、でも懐中電灯の方がよくありませんか。
あ、サンキュー。そっちの方がいいね。じゃあ、アマコくんはアロエちゃんと荷物を見といて。
Take the first rule to surviving an apocalyptic event. Never give away your best shit. It's like, you know, you just traded a flashlight for a lantern. Something that is way, well, it's like a downgrade. He just downgraded himself. You don't even know this, you don't know this guy for shit. But, you know, that's just me thinking too far ahead. See, I'm like Walking Dead season 3. Everybody else is Walking Dead season 1 pilot episode. Like, oh, it's gonna blow over eventually. It's like the military's gonna save us. It's like they're gonna find a cure. Yeah, I'm still waiting on that cure and the military to save us. What's left of them?
わかりました。気をつけて。
じゃあね。
Tanamura waves his hand carelessly and walks out of the chapel, with his footsteps echoing behind him. I look at the window frame. I'm looking in the direction I walked from. The snow is relentless and the night is dark as ever, so I can barely see anything. It doesn't help that my vision was bad. But with such unfavorable conditions, I won't be able to look around town even if I had good vision. I give up and sit down at the desk. Don't you have contact lenses? I take my socks off and I take my socks off and check my ankle, but I don't see anything wrong with it. It's not even swollen, so I shouldn't worry too much about it. I'll take out my cell phone, but it still says that it's out of service. I try listening to the radio, but since I don't usually listen to the radio, the only radio I have is a function of it's on the function of my flashlight, and Tomura took that with them. Yeah. Now you're starting to regret your decision. I notice that ROA is squatting down and doing something. I hear some sounds. I take a peek from behind and see that she's constructing a white right hand. Just joining the broken pieces back together, even including the very small broken pieces. I'm surprised. Arwa keeps picking up the pieces that fit perfectly from a mountain of broken pieces. Her speed is extraordinary, and I can't comprehend how she can figure out which pieces fit together. Does she have some special sense? It looks like a supernatural power. Or should I say it's an abnormal power? I watch her move. As I watch her hands move, I hear a sound coming from behind. I hear footsteps. We're about to have a Last of Us moment. I turn around and see a man wearing a duffel coat standing by the door and staring at me. He sighs, puts down the bags in his hands, and calls up behind him.
本当？嘘だったらぶっ飛ばすよ。
I hear a woman's voice from behind him.
嘘じゃないですって。こんな時にそんなことするわけ。
He sounds like the whipped kind.
はいはい、分かったからどう言ってよね。
Yep, she's the dominant one. A short woman appears. The man is pushed aside and falls on his butt. The woman doesn't even take heed of him and dusts off the snow in her hair and clothes.
怪我はありませんか？
Another woman appears and helps the man up. The small girl sees me and walks over. I see a bit of snow in her slightly wavy
あな
hair.
たたちここに住んでる人なの？
No, we're just visiting. I shake my head.
違うの。そうよね。ねえ、ちょっとゆかっち。そんな使えないやつ放っておけばいいんだってば。手助けなんかしなくていいよ。あんまりイライラしちゃダメよ。
The man lifts up the heavy bags while the tall woman
だっ
answers.
て本当に使えないんだもん。自分の荷物は大事にしてるのに、人の荷物何度も落とし、中ぐちゃぐちゃになっちゃったよ、きっと。道は間違えるしさ。マジでムカつくわ。
だって僕のバッグにはノーパスが入ってるから。それに道は。
うるさいわね。もう。
The girl called Yukachi sighs.
ねえ、ここにいるのはあなたたちだけ？
The shorter woman looks up at
い
me.
や、あと一人いて、彼は今奥の部屋を見ています。もうすぐ帰ってくると思いますが。
そう。じゃあそっちの子はしゃがみ込んで何やってるの？っていうか、なんで私たちを無視してフラフラ揺れてるの？やばいんじゃないの？
いや、ちょっといろいろある子なんです。
ややこしいの？まあどうでもいいけどね。ほんと疲れたわよ。
She sighs and sits down on the spot. The other two with bags walk past her.
ここに荷物置いてもいいですか？
あ、どうぞ。
She puts their bags down next to ours, and a girl who's sitting down quickly pulls her bags towards herself.
困ったことになりましたね。
You don't say. She tried to be funny. The tall woman stays standing and she talks to me.
何かご存知ですか？私たちまだ何も知らなくて。
いや、僕にもまだ情報はありません。ラジオがありますけど、もう一人に渡してしまってるので、彼が帰ってこないことには分かりませんね。
そうですか。あ、私は大学生で佐々木由香と言います。
僕は。
私は川瀬ひばり。
Okay. Kawase Hibari. The girl by my feet interrupts me with her introduction. She's still rummaging through her bag with both hands. Confirm that she doesn't intend to follow up and then resumes talking.
天子司と言います。学生です。彼女は八坂アロエ。
天子司さん？
You can ask back, oh shit, does she know me? Uh-oh.
そうですけれど、どうかしました？
いや、珍しい名字だなと思って。
Why is that unusual?
そうですか。
僕は桑形拓馬です。佐々木さんや川瀬さんと同じ大学に通ってます。
For some reason, I don't really trust you that much. Yeah, it's like it's always the men in the group you don't have to trust first. It's like, okay, the women, it's like, yeah, you gotta get a feel of them. But with the guys, it's kind of harder because they're like, I don't know, guys. But then again, if it comes down to it, I'll just kill everybody if necessary. That's how I roll. Yeah, if you watch me play The Walking Dead, or, well, not so much in Heavy Rain, but yeah, I kind of make difficult decisions really easily. I'm not afraid of a little wet work. The young man wearing duffel coat puts on a forced smile.
クワガタって虫の名前でしょ。ぴったりだよね。つうかさ、ほら、クワガタ見ないよ。やっぱり箱が潰れちゃってるじゃん。どうしてくれんの？
Hibari glances at Takuma and takes a white cake box out from her bag.
すみません。
そんなの持ってくるひばりが悪いんでしょ。あなたさっきからちょっとひどいわよ。
なんでよ。
Hibari glances at Yuka and yells at her.
なんでユカッチはさっきからクワガタの肩ばっかり持ってるの？私がクリスマスを楽しみにしてたのユカッチだって知ってるじゃない。それなのに何よ。街はめちゃめちゃになるし、雪はバカみたいに降ってるし、風はビュービュー吹いてて寒いし、暗いし、何が何だかわからないし、なんなのよこれ、最悪よ。こんなの落ち着いていられるわけないじゃない。
確かにこんな怖い目にあったら普通でいられるわけないと思うけれど。
怖くなんかないよバカ。
Hibari responds in a loud voice, and Yuka falls silent. Takuma, who became the cause of the quarrel, looks away awkwardly. So I'm not involved. I start to think about what I can say.
おお、
Tadamura's appearance breaks the silence.
ずいぶん賑やかだね。俺も混ぜてよ。
He aims a flashlight at his face from below and smiles. Everyone watches him, but nobody says a thing. Everyone watches him with serious expressions. Tadamura makes some funny faces, but nobody says a thing. Tadamura he says his name a lot. Tadamura awkwardly turns the flashlight off and scratches his
それ
head.
はともかくとしてさ、やっぱりどうしてもイライラしちゃうよね。こんな時はさ、みんなで温かいコーヒーでも飲んで落ち着かない？
When Tadamura says this, Aroi stands up. She's still holding the Christ's foot, and her eyes are shining.